Adam Silver just learned that the WNBA's top earner would miss the All-Star game because of yet another injury. And it's at the worst possible time. NBA executives is upset over Caitlin Clark's absence from the WNBA's biggest showcase weekend, as the league's CBA negotiations are collapsing and lockout talks are intensifying. It's also not shocking. It's not just a basketball issue when your best player is injured in the midst of a league-wide pivot. There is a crisis. Do you believe Adam Silver has good reason to be concerned about the WNBA's performance? Is managing its most important player at this crucial juncture? Is it time for him to fire Cathy Engelbert? Tell us in the comments section below. However, we do begin our show with some bad news from the WNBA. After aggravating a groin injury in the last minute of Tuesday's victory over the Connecticut Sun, Caitlin Clark confirmed today that she will miss the three-point competition, as well as the WNBA All-Star Game this coming weekend in Indiana. Fans are really upset that Clark will miss this weekend's festivities after missing 4 games and the Commissioner Cup final due to a groin injury earlier this month. But you know that if there was any chance she could be there, she would. Let's examine why the league is experiencing a complete disaster. Caitlin Clark formally withdrew from the All-Star Game on Thursday afternoon. She had previously missed Friday's three-point competition, as Lexi Hall replaced her due to a re-injury to her right groin during Tuesday's game. Here's what, though, makes this so terrible. This is not going to happen on a slow week. The league executives are negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement at the same time that this is taking place. One that might decide if the WNBA will have a 2026 season at all. I'll let my colleague, Commissioner Engelbert, handle the exact question about the foul. Other than the fact that, as a basketball fan, you are aware these welcome to the league moments are nothing new, particularly for heralded rookies, I naturally want to see Caitlin treat me equally. Adam Silver has previously stated publicly that he wants Caitlin to receive fair and proper treatment in this league. He is therefore more than just concerned when he witnesses her missing the league's premier event because of what many consider to be subpar injury care. It's a warning sign. Furthermore, this isn't merely a publicity stunt because the NBA provides financial support to the WNBA. Problem for Cathy Engelbert. It's a plain and loud warning from the top. It's time to hold those responsible for Clark's injury accountable, since it couldn't have happened at a worse time. Look, CC in the groin, JC Sheldon on the knee. It was simply strange. Caitlin Clark's situation is not looking good. This referee game was the worst by far. When it came to safeguarding the league's most marketable and powerful athlete, Commissioner Cathy Engelbert has fallen far short. It appeared as though they wanted Caitlin Clark to suffer harm or that something negative would happen to her. Sports for veterans. Columnist Christine Brennan has publicly criticized Engelbert for avoiding queries concerning Clark and instead directing readers to other participants, such as Angel Reese, even when Clark is the sole subject of the inquiry. That's not being a leader. The fans aren't buying that spin. Regarding the remarks, I've known and liked Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, but she struggles to discuss Caitlin Clark. If someone asks her about Caitlin, she will respond, well, Caitlin and Angel. Well, she wasn't asked about Angel. She was asked about Caitlin. This is an amazing incapacity to handle the details and, to put it plainly, proclaim the obvious. I find it incredible that Cathy Engelbert hasn't publicly stated that the Marina Mabrey hit is unacceptable. The referees made a mistake. Alright, ought to have been expelled at that time. You weren't. This individual is responsible for advancing the league. She even has trouble saying Clark's name without turning around. It goes beyond a squandered public relations chance. There is a lack of leadership. The figures also don't lie. The national WNBA viewership has drastically decreased since Clark's fall. Activities involving the Indiana. On national television, Fever decreased from an average of more than 1. Following her accident, the viewership dropped from 8 million to just 847,000, a 53% decrease. That amounts to the loss of millions of dollars. Moreover, Engelbert is behaving as though the league is doing well. How did we end up here? Let's discuss the officiating catastrophe that brought us to this point. According to Dr. and Lucas Seifer, a kinesiology specialist, Since opening night, the WNBA has documented 141 injuries. In a 44-game, that represents just 179 active players. Season. That injury rate is ridiculously high. The league's leadership ought to have acted on it right away. But Angelbert has reacted with the haste of a wet napkin. The person who handles the ball. A grab is happening. A hold is in place. Another grab is coming. Those are all fouls after all. Those are all fouls. All of them. They also learn that it's a foul. It's a foul. At last, they make a call. Because officiating has been so bad, WNBA broadcaster and legend Rebecca Lobo has been compelled to call it out on air in real time. She explained many missed fouls on Caitlin Clark to the audience during a game, stating, "There's a grab. There's a hold. Another grab. That's a foul. That's a foul." It's not a small matter when Hall of Famers are compelled to publicly criticize officiating in real time. The credibility of the league has completely collapsed. It's not just the media either. Stephanie White of the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's own coach, has been forced to repeatedly address the public over the officiating catastrophe. She expressed her indignation after several games, saying, "The disrespect shown to our squad has been astounding. I thought she got fouled. It's pretty egregious what's been happening to us. I believed she was fouled. I believe what's been happening to us over the past few games is really ridiculous. A disparity of -31 free throws. And if we were only chucking threes, I could understand, but we're not. Our target is the rim." Additionally, the disrespect shown to our team at the moment has been pretty astonishing. It's disappointing, then. A coach isn't being sentimental like that. That's a coach pointing out a flaw in the system. However, it didn't end there. In a heated post-game press conference following Clark's repeated hits during a game against the Connecticut Sun, White criticized the league for its continued inaction and blasted the officials for losing control. "Everyone's improving except the officials who played 9 years in Indiana and now on the staff," she said without holding back. That's a live shot of Caitlin Clark at this point. She went farther, revealing a more serious problem. "We discuss this at our autumn and spring league meetings each year, but nothing changes. The game is now quick. Things are moving swiftly. With the exception of the officials, everyone is improving. We must thus figure out how to fix it." I'm not sure what the answer is because you've heard every coach discuss it. To put it another way, this issue is not new. Under Kathy Angelbert's leadership, this well-known problem has been disregarded year after year. Although the league has become more well-known and significant, somehow officiating has grown worse. That is not acceptable. Additionally, Caitlin Clark's groin ailment has prevented her from attending All-Star Weekend. These shortcomings are the direct cause of it. Unchecked physicality, missed calls, and a complete lack of league responsibility. In an obvious act of hostility, Marina Mabury pushed Caitlin Clark to the ground following a dead ball. Officials initially simply called a technical foul. However, the league was compelled to raise it to a flagrant 2 after supporters exploded in anger. In real time, they made a mistake. Only after being publicly embarrassed did they fix the call. On social media, even Clark's brother Colin expressed his annoyance by accusing the referees of having inadequate game management, which directly caused his sister's injuries. It's not only emotion when family members express themselves in such a prominent way. It is a last-ditch effort to stop witnessing their loved ones suffer injuries as a result of utter officiating failure. Kathy Angelbert's answer was utterly contemptuous. "It's interesting. No winning team ever complains about officiating. No losing team ever doesn't," she said in response to a question concerning the increased criticism around refereeing. That isn't leadership. That's tone-deaf arrogance from someone who doesn't understand the gravity of the situation. Yes, as a longtime sports fan, I am aware that officiating and refereeing are always at the top of a fan's list of things to watch on the media. We obviously put a lot of effort into training and consistency, but obviously not all of them are human. For example, when it comes to technology, basketball is a little more complicated than tennis. Officiating, so we're looking at a lot of different dimensions, and the business fallout from Angelbert's mismanagement is huge. In 2024, 23 WNBA games had more than 1 million viewers, and Clark played in all but 3 of them. Caitlin is the league's top viewer, and Angelbert still hasn't been able to protect her. The impact on revenue is equally as staggering, with ESPN's WNBA ratings rising 170% from 454,000 to over 1.2 million average viewers, a 133% increase from 2023. Those figures are all due to Clark. The fact that Angelbert is now threatening hundreds of millions of dollars in future revenue because he can't keep her safe isn't an isolated incident. Rather, it's a pattern. The Fever-Sun game ended this past Tuesday with 5 technicals, 3 ejections, 2 egregious fouls, and 1 complete disaster. The referees lost all control because they've been given no real accountability or structure, as evidenced by the betting market. Adam Silver notices that Clark has brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball, but he's also raising red flags about how she's being treated. When the commissioner of the funding partner league goes on the record with subtle but firm concern, it's not just a warning, it's a final notice. Fix this. And this issue goes beyond Clark. Sports betting activity on Fever games dropped nearly 50% immediately. That kind of drop-off from a single player's absence tells you everything about her value. I get fouled like that every possession. They just don't call anything. This officiating breakdown is affecting multiple stars. Coaches and players are fed up. They say calls are wildly inconsistent. What's a foul in the first quarter suddenly isn't in the fourth. One team gets called for something the other team gets away with. That's not basketball. It's chaos in a jersey. Kelsey Plum recently lost it after constant non-alls raged in a profanity-laced tirade. Additionally, the All-Star Weekend has become a symbol of everything that has gone wrong. Clark's image is displayed everywhere in Indianapolis, including the arena, billboards, and the airport. The entire event revolved around her, and now she is benched because of her repeated injuries and poor management. When you add the ongoing CBA negotiations to the situation, it gets even worse. The current agreement expires on October 31st, 2025, and players are already preparing for a possible lockout. Labor tensions are at an all-time high, and the league's best player is not playing during its most important weekend. The statistics are alarming. Clark never missed a college game and was the epitome of durability, but under WNBA care, she has missed numerous games, including 5 in May due to a quad injury and another 5 in July due to a groin strain. Her return game attracted 2 million viewers, reaching a peak of 2.88 million, which is 76% more than the average ABC WNBA game from the previous season. Even veteran journalists like Christine Brennan are speaking out, saying they like Angelbert personally, but the league office is failing to properly market its biggest draw. When veteran media voices start airing grievances in public, it's not nitpicking. It's a full-blown call-out. Meanwhile, fans are organizing, and online petitions are appearing calling for officiating reform. Without her, the league loses audience relevance and revenue. Missed calls, dubious officiating, and a lack of penalties for risky play have all plagued the Fever games. The pattern of Clark's injuries is even more worrisome. Analyst Rachel Dia noted that the injuries keep changing, affecting her left quad, left groin, and right groin, indicating that her body mechanics are being disrupted by repeated hits. This isn't just wear and tear. It's a systemic breakdown brought on by unchecked abuse on the court. The stakes couldn't be higher. That's not feedback, that's a movement. The WNBA was predicted to bring in over $1 billion this year, largely because of Caitlin Clark. Silver's earlier remarks about treating Clark fairly and appropriately now carry more weight because this isn't just about player care. It's about billion-dollar consequences. All of the league's games in viewership since 2002 featured Caitlin Clark. Her significance to the league isn't debatable. It's historical. It's foundational. She's already delivered record-breaking numbers, and now the league she's being broken. In stark contrast, Clark gave the league a gold mine, 12. 3 million viewers for her Iowa finale, 14. 2 million for the Final Four, which was ESPN's most-watched basketball game ever, men's or women's. What has the WNBA done with this opportunity? mishandled it at every turn. Her well-being is no longer just a sports issue. It's a business emergency. Massive expectations, massive promotion, and a massive letdown. All of this now reflects what is being discussed in CBA negotiations. Players want a piece of the growing revenue, and they deserve it, but how do you even start that conversation when the person who is driving that revenue is constantly hurt due to officiating chaos? This mess has repercussions even abroad. If Caitlin Clark is unable to stay healthy in the WNBA, overseas leagues start to look more appealing. The worst part is that all of this could have been prevented. Better officiating, more transparent leadership, and better protection for stars. Instead, we have a broken system. Part-time referees, paid per game, juggling NCAA and WNBA duties, lack of consistency, lack of training standards, and no long-term accountability. As a result, your most important player just missed your biggest event in her home state because your referees were unable to perform their duties. Do you think Adam Silver is right to be concerned about how the WNBA is handling its most valuable player at such a crucial time? Should he finally fire Kathy Angelbert? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Click the video on the screen, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss anything. Adam Silver's concern is not a suggestion. It is a final warning. Fix the officiating. Protect your stars or get ready to watch everything collapse. And we'll see you at the following.